Taurus, this is going to be a reading for you, cosmic forecast, a deep dive into all the messages you need to hear right now, looking at June 2021 and beyond, Taurus. So we'll start with the tarot. How I will structure this reading is pulling for the past, present and future energies surrounding you now. Then of course we will go much deeper into these, pulling more cards to clarify, then oracle, astrology, we'll show the spread, we'll get into it. For now, let's get some cards out. What has been going on for Taurus? You can put this back to your birthday season if you like. Time and energy is on fluid. This is a past energy for you. Two of Wands, a decision, a risky decision, Eight of Swords, a decision that you couldn't fully get to grips with. Your energy, King of Pentacles, which is fixed earth. So something had seemed like a real dream come true for you. Jupiter moved into Taurus rising's 11th house of wishes and aspirations and dreams and networking with large community, a new community, a new friendship group, a new alliance. Something had come up where you seemed that was very, very secure for you and very much a dream come true, and something you never thought you were going to be good enough to do. But it came up for you and it was risky. You made a decision around it. Okay, we'll clear up some more, but for now, let's just grab some cards. What are the present energies that Taurus is dealing with around June 2021? Take what resonates and leave the rest, Taurus. This is for present situation when you're watching this around you, Taurus. Okay, so we've got the Hermit, all right, another major arcana card. We are facing some soul growth lessons this month. 10 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands in reverse. Something was growing, and there was a lot of reflection on things. There was a lot of internalizing. There was a lot of questioning, but something ultimately that this 2 of Wands that we made a decision on, it ended up going to the 3 of Wands. It was there. It developed and it grew and it expanded. But when this 3 reversed, it tells me that there was some sort of a block created in this expansion or in this endeavor, and it became a lot of toil and trouble and burdensome. 10 of Wands, too heavy. 2 Wands was fine. 3 Wands, okay, I can handle it. But 10 Wands, like, are you for real? Dropped a card. I'm blaming Mercury retrograde for my added clumsiness, Taurus. Okay, let's find some cards and find out what's going on. What have you yet to experience? What are we going to see coming up in the future energies for Taurus? Late June, let's take it into July at this point. Let's see what's going on. There's a lot of fire and earth in this reading. All right, in reverse, 2 of Swords. Okay, now we've got some 8 of Pentacle energy and the 4 of Cups. Right. There's going to be a fight for this. There's going to be a fight for what you want. 5 at the bottom of the deck of those wands, some sort of a strife. Okay, so you're reluctant to make a decision around work and around passions and around what's inspiring you. You're reluctant, 2 of Swords, to choose one of these swords. It's in reverse. You're really blocked on what to do. You're really blocked on what the best option is for you by the end of the month. And 8 of Pentacles seems like it's in where you've been putting your focus. Some of you are designers, some of you are crafts people, some of you are just in an administrative role where you're kind of repeating the work you're doing, and you could do this in your sleep, this work, okay? But you're headed towards with this work, it's so valuable to you because you're going to be creating something more abundant from it. You're going to be creating this King of Pentacles stability and security, and for the long term, like you're committing to something. But there is a lack of interest on your part, or there is some sort of loss of spark for something that you had been doing, okay, Taurus? Let's take it back. What was this? There was a decision that was made in the past and it broke free. So you made this great decision. It was risky and you were like, should I do it? Should I not? I don't know, like back and forth. But when you did, what happened was so cataclysmic, and you never expected this to happen, Taurus. What happened when you decided to take one of these wands and pursue something with it and expand it to the 3, take what you had, bring it to a 3, and make something bigger and grow something. This really set off a really cataclysmic shift in your mind. These swords here on the periphery were entrapping you inside your mind, okay? And they were telling you things like that you wouldn't be successful at this, or like this isn't really something that you would be good at, or something that you even are able to do. But these swords chopped through that in the middle and set you free, basically, and broke the cycle of self-limiting beliefs and turned these, you know, cannots into cans, basically, and you were able to proceed. And what you saw from this was like an opportunity for real security. Some of you got an investor, and some of you were thinking, gosh, they would never want to invest in my product or invest in me or what I'm doing or my beliefs. But lo and behold, somebody really did want to invest in you and really saw something in you, and you know, you were feeling very, very empowered by this, and you were feeling like, yes, that's right, like I am excited about it now, and you're kind of rising to a you're rising to destiny. So far, the only major arcana card in our reading comes up in the month for the present energies around maybe June 2021 for you, which is the Hermit. There is a real desperate need for reflection. You don't have all the answers at this time. Taurus, fixed earth, sometimes thinks that they have all the answers in terms of anything practical, anything tangible, or anything real. They think that they have everything figured out. We have Virgo energy, another earth sign with this Hermit, but that's mutable. Virgo is also earthy and also attached to reality and what's real and what we can hold and the practical matters in life concerning us. But they have some more flexibility because they're mutable earth, not fixed. So they are able to ask questions and adapt, and there is some sort of a need for Virgo or Taurus to take the Virgoan approach and go within and start analyzing and start kind of thinking a little bit more about things. But overall, you are starting to feel like this endeavor of yours, or this gamble that you decided to undertake, Two of Wands, you've reached some sort of abrupt block, because if the Three of Wands was upright, then I would just see a really natural progression of what you got from the Two of Wands. You made a decision and you went for it, and it expanded and it grew beautifully. It reversed. It's telling me that there is a block around it. We'll clear it up, some sort of a setback or lack of success on your part, you feel. The Ten of Wands here in the middle of the reading is saying overall there is a lot of work to be done, and you're feeling the pressure of it, and you're feeling the build-up of all of this in the month of June. Moving into end of June, beginning of July, there is another decision to make, but you have a greater sense of hesitancy around this. Two of Swords in reverse. When you made the decision in late May or in May or just beyond, whatever the past energy is for you, whenever that was, Two of Wands, this was a kind of easier decision to come by. The only thing that was holding you back was your self-limiting beliefs, like, oh, would I really be able to rise to this occasion and do it? Now the decision is, there's a block around it, Two of Swords in reverse, because you were burnt by your last decision. So now you're second guessing yourself in another way, Taurus. You're like, oh my gosh, like, is my judgment of character off? Am I barking up the wrong tree altogether? You were able to see that you were able to do something, and you've reached a setback, so now you're back in not at square one again. You still believe in yourself, but you just are aware that you need to change the direction slightly. You could be dealing with the Virgo at this time as well, okay? You'll be dealing with the Virgo at the moment. And so let me see, you need to kind of apply your focus on what it is that you actually love. Like Four of Cups can be kind of like a stagnated energy, right? The Fours are very stable. Cups are our emotions and our feelings. We might just feel a little bit like stuck in our feelings at the moment and dwelling on things, but also feeling like, right, okay, did that ever really excite me? What does excite me? What sparks joy in me? What makes me feel filled up, and what makes me feel like I want to engage? Let's look at these cards, Taurus, and then I'm going to break down some of the astrology for you. I'm also going to pull an oracle card from my oracle here. But before I do that, let me briefly talk about the astrology, okay? So I like to read the astrology from the rising sign position, and for Taurus rising, I'll speak about this from the Taurus rising perspective. So Taurus, say you are a Taurus sun but have a Virgo rising, for example. Go check out the Virgo reading as well as your own one here for your sun sign. Check out your rising sign one too, because the astrology will be more applicable, and I hope that you get more guidance from that. So All right, what have we got going on? Saturn retrograde happened on May 23rd. That happened in Taurus rising's house of career. So, right, Taurus rising, your house of career, the 10th house, Saturn's gone retrograde. We're going to be feeling this kind of a slumber there, or kind of like resistance. Saturn is all about resistance and boundaries and limitations. So things might have been going full steam ahead, and around May 23rd, when Saturn went retrograde, we began feeling the symptoms of having to restructure, redefine, rethink, rework. So things may have come up in 10th house topics for Saturn or for Taurus rising in terms of like rethinking your career, rethinking your goals, rethinking things around your public reputation and your calling in life essentially. Once Saturn moves direct in October, you will have totally redefined what your goals are. You will have totally redefined what it is you want from a career and how you want to be seen and perceived, and basically redefining what you want your legacy to be by October. Okay, we've also got eclipses happening. Taurus rising, these eclipses are falling between your money houses. 2nd house of personal income, 8th house of shared resources. Around the time of, cast your mind back to May 26th time frame, Taurus, we're smack bang in the middle of eclipse season now. So we had lunar eclipse in Taurus rising's 8th house on the 26th of May, followed by solar eclipse in Taurus rising's 2nd house of money on the 10th of June. We're smack in the middle of these eclipses. Eclipses, no matter if you're Taurus rising, a Virgo rising, whatever you are, a Taurus, anything, everybody is going to feel the energy of the eclipses, more severe for some than others, because eclipses basically propel us towards our destiny. So if we're already working in alignment to our destined path, then these changes will be subtle and, you know, maybe unnoticeable. But if we're way off the beaten track and doing something that doesn't fulfill us, is not suitable for us, is damaging to us, then these eclipses are kind of hyper-fueled, energetic lunations that will create more drastic changes in order to align us. So these are happening. So what's been happening around money for you, Taurus rising in particular? What is happening? Have you just maybe, you know, has there been some sort of a disappointment around an inheritance, or maybe there's been really good news about an inheritance, or has there been just an influx in money, or have you had to restructure and totally, you know, rethink what you're doing with money? But it's all coming up for Taurus rising around sort of finances and like what you need to spend your money on, what your debts are now, how you're generating money, all of these things. Okay, things might have come up around wills, things might have come up around taxes and inheritances as well. Okay, so then also last thing I'd really like to touch on is that there could be some confusion around money with this Gemini Mercury retrograde happening in Taurus rising, 2nd house of money. As well as that, there is greater optimism for Taurus rising in terms of the community they're a part of, expanding that because Jupiter is there for Taurus rising, expanding that, creating more opportunity and optimism around your bigger collective network, your community at large, your neighborhood, your goals, your wishes, your dreams, and any clubs or societies or just like, you know, communities you feel aligned with. Oh wait, before I pull more cards from the tarot, let me just pull an oracle for you now, Taurus. Let's ground this and pull a message from this Chinese goddess of compassion, Kuan Yin oracle. We're taking this as a message now from Taurus's highest, most compassionate self to them. And it's called the Orchid Princess of Destiny. Well, that sounds very like what we're talking about with our eclipses and destiny. So let's have a look at it. It's number 21. That it might be an important number for you today, or break that down. Maybe the important number is 3. Okay. There's a 2 and a 1, there's a 3, or there's a 21. Orchid Princess of Destiny says, the Orchid Priestess, the Orchid Priestess of your highest spiritual destiny calls to you now, beloved. She calls you to your purpose, path, and soul passion. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. You are called to rise again and again, to live up into your potential with all its uniqueness and beauty. She will always call you, with her sweet flute playing deep in your heart. Blossoms of orchid and are falling from her feet, stirring up your heart to quest you for your truest soul passion. That's what I'm talking about here. You are at loggerheads with yourself again by the end of the month, because this actually isn't your truest soul passion. You thought it was great and you thought it really was. And it could have been, maybe it was, but there's a block around it now, and that might have been destiny stepping in with these eclipses. So it goes on to say that you may have felt different to those around you at different times in your life. This is meant to be, beloved one. You cannot be a pioneer of a different consciousness on this planet if you feel completely comfortable in the consciousness that already exists around you. Do you know that this was chosen on purpose, so that you could be on purpose? Your soul chose to be of service by not fitting in, so that it would remember through things not feeling right, that it was meant to help correct and heal the consciousness on our planet, starting with the self. Exactly. So we come here, we are reincarnated into this physical vessel that we have. Our soul has been here many times before, gained wisdom from many lifetimes, and we of course don't remember this, but our birth chart is the tool that we are given when we are born, and that is the miraculous moment. So really the planet's transit will never change. We know where all of the planets will be in 100 years, 50 years, 1 month, 3 weeks, 1,000 years. We know where they were 1,000 years ago, 3 weeks ago, and that will never change. There is one variable in the cosmos, and it's the divine moment of your birth. And things can go short labor, long labor, before due date, after due date, but that's purposeful. It's so that you can come in the alignment of where the planets are, and your birth chart is that's all you need basically to rise to your soul's destiny. Okay, you have all the tools there. Now we don't have to rise to the destiny, we don't have to at all, we have free will. But that's sort of an example of soul purpose and destiny and things like that. So if you feel like things are testing you now, Taurus, yeah, like maybe it's just trying to bring you closer to what your soul purpose is, and maybe you're not sure of that. And all these chaotic changes and things are feeling like tests and burdens, but they're bringing you closer to something, Taurus. Let's clear up these cards, okay? So let's look at this past row, because I'll go on a tangent there about soul purpose, and that's not why we're here today necessarily. We want to look at the tarot. 2 of Wands, 8 of Swords, and King of Pentacles. What do we need to clear up for Taurus in terms of that? Five of Wands. That's that conflict or strife and death card. Rightio. So, yeah, there was some sort of an ending that happened with the death card. It might have been around an argument or a bust up or a conflict, strife. It could have even just been really, really petty, Taurus. Maybe it was with the Scorpio, or maybe it was just with something that you feel now has been very transformational in how you see the world. Maybe it's kind of transforming your consciousness, and like, you know, you never saw it like this before, you never saw people like this before, you never saw the situation like this before, but there was some sort of a strife that created a transformation or an ending to take place. The ending will generate a new beginning, and the new beginning that is generated after the death card, death so to speak, metaphorical or otherwise really, is this sort of transformation into going within and realizing, like, you stop asking other people for answers to the questions. You truly know, the Hermit is telling you, everybody has everything within them that they need. And that the answers are there. It's just a matter of getting quiet and going within and reflecting, meditating, reading something about the topic and then digesting it and just understanding it more, researching it more. Research, okay? Do your research, Taurus. That's what this is asking. Like, ask the questions, find out. Don't just take what's been told to you, or don't just take what these people are saying to you about this topic or this opportunity. Like, you need to look into it properly yourself, okay? But there is a death energy coming up, and this has happened at the end of May, beginning of June, where you just feel like something has changed and something wasn't the same after this pettiness or conflict or strife, and something stopped, something blocked. Let's look at what it could be, or let's see if this is something different. I'm kind of thinking this is linked to the Hermit, the 10 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands. This talks about like a lot in the middle of the deck. 10 Wands, it's such a heavy energy. It's actually Saturn in the sign of Sagittarius. Saturn is pretty oppressive. It's our taskmaster in this cosmos. It's the karmic strict father figure energy that just wants us to be dutiful and responsible. No time for fun there. So let's see what is going on in June. Are we clearing anything up more for Taurus? Well, we are, but what's it gonna be? Okay. Ooh, the Tower. So that's when an argument can bubble much more severe from the Five of Wands. And then we have got, oh, what have we got here? We have got the Nine of Cups. Okay, so this is that Jupiter in Pisces happening in your Taurus rising's 11th house of aspirations and networking and friendship and goals. Okay, so there is some sort of a really big shakeup that is kind of energetically posed to happen. And this could be when Mars, which rules this card here, Mars will move into Leo, another fixed sign like you, Taurus, on June 10th. That's a significant day. That is when the eclipse happens too. This is going to be quite a impactful day in the cosmos. Or I'm sorry, I think Mars moves into Leo, maybe it's around the 12th, but it's right smack bang in the middle of the month when we're looking at this energy. And it's going to be a more volatile energy. You know, Mars moves from more of a passive water sign, Cancer, into more of a fiery, dominant sign, masculine sign, Leo. And Mars is a masculine planet, and it's aggressive and it's forceful and it's dominating and it's our will. So we will be more egotistical in the month of June as a collective. But Taurus rising, this is making a square to you, okay? So you're gonna feel these energies. Eclipses are one thing and Mercury retrograde is another. They're happening simultaneously. Unfortunately for the collective, we have Mercury retrograde, which is just a classic miscommunication signature, but eclipses are not just classic miscommunications. They are destined conflicts or destined situations that happen that we learn from, but the ramifications can be more longer lasting. And that's what this is. Mercury retrograde, Five of Wands, petty argument, conflict, strife, disagreement, miscommunication. Tower, bigger, more explosive, more unpredictable and chaotic instances that take people by surprise. They shake the foundations. I sense Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck, more fiery energy. I sense that there is a foundation that you're testing or that you're shaking, and I sense that there is some sort of a shakeup that needs to happen in the month of June, and it looks like it's going to happen. What you could do to mitigate the fallout of the Tower, like literally the fallout here and all this coming crashing down, is go within, do your research, plan, and like really think about what it is you're going to say, do, or what you're going to bring to the table before you go in all guns blazing, go in all gung-ho. Have your research done, cool, calm, collected, like a Virgo. A Virgo would never lose their temper like that, okay? And that's what we can see here happening in the Tower card. A temper is being lost, and it's coming from resentment, and it's coming from, for some, being taken advantage of in the Ten of Wands, being expected to do all this work and get no reward, or just to be expected to take on everything and lump yourself and burden yourself. Nine of Cups is something that's more optimistic, and through this chaos may create a greater sense of fulfillment, a greater sense of like flow, and basically like this is an upward battle, and this isn't a salmon swimming upstream. Now this uphill battle is no good if you're just getting lumped on with no reward, no gratitude, but you know, a salmon will swim upstream because it's going to be the safest, most optimistic and opportune place for them to thrive, okay? So through this chaos, there's a stark differentiation you'll see about taking on work that is not appreciated and undervalued in the Ten of Wands, or taking on a hard task or effort like this uphill stream. Swim if you know there is going to be a major reward and it's just going to be the absolute best for you. And that's what it's all coming down to, okay? Right, but there are some foundations, Four of Wands, that are being shaken up here this month. Could be home and living situation, could be a company, could be work, but something that's stable. Yeah, it's not going to remain stable is what I'm thinking. Okay, so let's take it forward and do Two of Swords in reverse with the Eight of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. What's coming up around Taurus for these future energies? Let's clear them up. So this is going to be our final 10 of Swords. So our breakthrough on whatever it has been that's been stressing us out is coming, and that the Four of Pentacles come to restabilize things. So tempers flared with the fiery wands, and eventually we're able to ground things again in an earthly way, in a practical, calmer, more sensible way. But it comes after reaching a total breakthrough or breakdown in communication. With a soulmate, with a person that you love dearly, with a teacher even, or a mentor or a guide, or some sort of a person that you undertook, Page of Pentacles, a new endeavor, a new start beginning with. There is some sort of a complete breakthrough. Ten of Swords is when we can go no further with something. It's over, it's done. Like, we've 10 of Wands here, that's when we've realized we physically can't take it anymore. 10 of Swords is the mind suit, when we mentally cannot take this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. We've exhausted it. The Tower, this could be back and forth arguing and you just can't do it anymore, or you've reached some sort of a crescendo breakthrough, but after it can't get any worse, so it can only get stable again. Okay, so that's kind of a good thing. That we see that coming up. But all of this breakthrough is going to teach you about what you actually want, who you want to be around, what it is that you actually are inspired to put all this focus and effort that you're willing to do. You're willing to learn, you're willing to study, research, you're actually willing to, some of you are thinking about going back to school and really like refocusing all your efforts and energy on learning and starting from scratch and doing something brand new. Okay? All right, Taurus, that's going to be your June 2021 reading here today. If you liked this reading, please feel free to hit share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Bye.